How does it get on your clothing? Yeah, they put it in the laundry detergent. A lot of companies, As promised in the last episode, today we're going to talk about laundry detergent, and I'm going to show you 3 scientific research papers to help you choose better laundry detergent if you haven't already. And even if you have, let's raise some questions. Talk about what's in there, what you want to avoid. And I'm going to actually make this a 2-part series because surprisingly, there's a lot of material here. 2014 Environmental International Journal. I've got a paper here called Occurrences, Toxicities, and Ecological Risks for Benzophenone 3. It's a benzophenone chemical. There's a bunch of different ones. Oxybenzone is a benzophenone. A lot of times you see them in sunscreens. Back to the title, the risks for benzophenone 3, a common component of organic sunscreen products. I like how they use the word organic here. You're able to put these in organic sunscreens. A mini review. So this is a review of benzophenone. Has been widely used, they say, in sunscreens and many other consumer products, including cosmetics. Watch out. Toxic effects of BP, benzophenone, and its suspected metabolites, BP3, is lipophilic. That means it floats on water. It acts like fat. It's bioaccumulative, they say. Bioaccumulation. That means it stores in your body. So if you get a low dose exposure and then another low dose exposure and then another one, those problems, those health issues are going to compound in your body because they're storing in your body. This is so common with these estrogen acting chemicals, these estrogenic chemicals. It's bioaccumulative, can be rapidly absorbed via oral and dermal routes. Okay, of course, if you're eating it, your body's going to absorb it. But dermal routes, that means skin contact, rubbing it on your skin. And they say, in humans, it's been detected. Benzophenone has been detected in urine, serum, and breast milk samples. Why breast milk? Why are they studying? Impacting the babies, of course. It's also been detected in placental tissues of delivering women. Increasing number of studies have indicated endocrine disrupting capacity, hormone disrupting capacity of benzophenone. Strong anti-androgenic, means it lowers male testosterone, things like that, and weak estrogenic activities. So it acts like estrogen, it disrupts a number of these sex hormones. But in that case, they're just talking about sunscreen. 2017, a recent research paper in the Environmental Science and Technology Journal. This one's called Dermal Uptake, again, skin uptake of benzophenone 3 from clothing. How does it get on your clothing? Yeah, they put it in the laundry detergent. A lot of companies, they put it in there because it's a UV protector, so it protects your clothes against UV degradation if you're out in the sun all the time. So they start off in this paper by saying BP3, benzophenone 3, is added to sunscreens, plastics, and some coatings to filter UV radiation. Plastics. They've done studies, I'm not going to show you, on the new car smell. There's a lot of benzophenone in there. We hypothesized dermal uptake from clothing could contribute to body burden. So they exposed cotton shirts to benzophenone for 32 days, so that's a long time. And the participants wore the shirts for 3 hours, short time. So after 3 hours, they had them put on their regular clothes for the next 48 hours and collected their urine. Okay, urinary excretion of benzophenones increased for all participants that were exposed to that 3-hour exposure. The summed mass for the first 24 hours was about 12,000 nanograms. So that's really high considering, and by the way, they're exposing the shirts to about 4,000 nanograms per meter cubed of air. But that's high, right? Because 12,000 nanograms in your blood compared to 20 nanograms of natural estrogen. You have about 20 nanograms per liter in your blood. Now we're looking at 12,000 nanograms, and that's a hazard, that's an issue. And to kind of further illustrate the issues with the laundry detergent chemicals, I got another paper, another one I think from 2017, might even be 2018, I don't see the date right offhand, but this one's called The Role of Clothing in Both Accelerating and Impeding Dermal Absorption of Airborne Semi-Volatile Organic Compounds. SVOCs. You've heard of VOCs in paint. This is SVOCs. What do they say? They measured the uptake of phthalates. Another big one. You find it in perfumes. Perfumes. Laundry detergents have perfumes. Yeah. course. So they measured phthalates for individual wearing clean clothes or phthalate exposed clothes and compared the results with dermal uptake, skin uptake. What did they find? Individuals wearing clean clothes or cotton exposed, the clothes were in the same air chamber for 9 days. They put the clothes in there for 9 days. Again, they're trying to really increase the concentration. Not the ideal thing in my opinion, but then they had them wear the clothes for 6 hours. Fresh clothes compared to so the people with clothing that's fresh air, just exposed to fresh air for however many days, 9 days, they had 17 nanograms per kilogram of phthalates in their body. That's what they were urinating out. That's what they estimated. 17 to 7, somewhere in that range, 17 to 7. What does that mean? That means if you're about 80 kilograms like I am, you've got about 1,360 nanograms of phthalates. Again, not good. Your natural estrogen, 20. But the exposed clothes, the ones that were sitting in the phthalates, they were about 178 to 261. That was the range. So again, 17 to 7 nanograms to 178 to 261. So obviously those clothing majorly increased urinary output, the amount of phthalates in your body. Again, if I was 80 kilograms with about 261 nanograms of phthalates, that's 20,000 nanograms of phthalates in your body, just from clothes. That's a lot. And yeah, again, they're exposing these clothes for a long time, for 9 days in a chamber. And so that's an extreme case. But here's what their conclusion is. Even for non-occupational environments, people that don't even work with these chemicals, wearing clothing that has absorbed these pollutants can increase dermal uptake by substantial amounts. So what's the solution? Well, I use 7th generation laundry detergent. They tell you all the ingredients. They don't legally have to, but they do. They don't have phthalates. They don't have benzophenones, like UV protectants. They don't have parabens. I even get the fragrance-free stuff just to be really on the safe side, but you don't have to go that far as long as you have a natural fragrance. And, I like the powder because a lot of the liquids, if they put enzymes in there, cleaning enzymes to help break down the sugars like amylase or to help break down the proteins like proteinases, right? Those enzymes get degraded by bacteria, so they need really harsh, in the liquid detergents, they need really harsh preservatives. So in the next episode, let's talk about those preservatives. Are those preservatives okay? We're being told they're okay, but are they okay? So obviously the benzophenones, the phthalates, not okay. Let's talk preservatives in the next episode.